Hi, Sarah Lee.
Hi, Petra.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's nice to finally meet you.
Yes, yes. I saw your pictures on Instagram, and yeah, it came on my newsfeed for some reason. I don't know why, but then I thought I'd contact you.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
Yeah. I see you are also from South Africa.
Yes, I'm from Cape Town.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm more from the north, near Johannesburg. Yeah,
Oh, nice, lovely.
yeah. Um, so tell me, you are in Germany at the moment?
Yes, I've been living in Germany for about 5 years now.
Okay.
So I'm quite
And
settled.
it, it and because of ballet.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And how was lockdown for you there in Germany? Where did it also started in the middle of March, but how did things change for you then?
Well, at first it was quite a big adjustment, and it was really weird to wake up every morning and not really have anything to do. Um, but the theatre, I really found that the theatre looked after us very well. They kept us informed with everything as best as they could, with all the uncertainties of everything. So I felt quite secure knowing that they had everything under control as best they could.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, as a dancer, it was quite a challenge because my apartment is there's not a lot of space to move around and to do things. Like I have a bit of a corridor that I can do a bit of Pilates in, and yeah, that was like the basic of my training. That my training became quite basic at that point.
Mm. And did you also feel in the time, because everybody thought it would be a few weeks, but then did you feel later on also that you could feel your muscles uh, not working as it, or as it used to?
Yeah, definitely. I think like first few weeks was like, oh, this is like okay, just a break, just try mentally use this as time to rest. And obviously being in like the middle of your season, it's very I don't know, strange to all of a sudden have like, okay, you're on a break now in a sense, and thinking like you have to keep yourself going because okay, anytime we're going to be back in the theater, and then this feeling just continued, and for me, I got a bit stressed with that. I think trying to keep yourself busy and active all the time, and yeah, I mean, it wasn't always possible. So the muscles, everything felt very like after you've been on holiday for a long time, very relaxed. And yeah, I felt like I had to start my whole year all over again.
Yeah, I think what people don't realize always is that it's you also you don't just do a bar, and also I think it's also not the same to do a bar in your corridor or in your living room or for some people in their kitchen. Um, so you really don't, you cannot do it full on like you used to, like you do in a studio, for example.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, as a dancer, we all have our different strengths. And personally, I love to jump. Um, but obviously, couldn't really jump at home because I live on the second floor. So my poor neighbors, I tried not to do anything that would disturb the neighbors too much. And yeah, I mean, I think we've been back at work now, well, on and off work for like 4 months again, or 4 or 5 months again, and I'm still slowly trying to find myself as a dancer from where I left off before the first lockdown. So it's been a
And
struggle.
do you also have to now dance with masks?
We don't have to rehearse or dance in class with masks, which is it's quite nice not to have to. Um, but if we feel insecure or that we feel we want to, we are provided them, which is great. But we do have to be in the theater, and if we're sitting on the sides of the rooms with the mask on.
Oh, okay. Um, And do you feel also that now, because dancing is also about closeness also, and you know, you're much more closer to people than, and you cannot really avoid it because it's part of dance. Are there dancers who have some sort of anxiety about this now, or are you all just taking it as it comes?
Well, actually, here we have quite strict rules. We're not allowed to be close within in the
Okay.
studios. So, like our ballet classes, I think we have 3 or 4 different groups of ballet classes to divide the company up, so that there can only be so many people, and it's constantly changing with the rules, like how many people we're allowed in the studio. As well as with choreographies. I mean, I haven't done any pas de deux work or any partnering kind of work since, well, since we went into lockdown from
Really?
February, March. So it's very strange. It's been a very strange time in the theater, like in the dance studios. Yeah.
And during this time in lockdown, you know, when they kept on extending the lockdown, were there ever a thought in your mind about what you're doing and you know, really, you know, this uncertainty? Will the theaters open, and will there be jobs for artists? Did you have that thought sometimes?
For sure. I think it's only natural to have those kind of thoughts. And personally, yes. I mean, I think the theaters have been, not only the theaters, but artists, all different kinds of artists have been deeply affected by lockdown. And I think it's made everyone question how stable the theater and like our world is. Um, Personally, yes, like I had many thoughts. I still feel very young, so I mean I'm 28, so I feel like I still have a lot of my career left to pursue. But yeah, it does make you think, and it makes you question everything, and how stable like your life can everything can change in an instant, and it did.
Mm.
So yeah.
But so you know, I know in South Africa, you know, there are not many opportunities for dancers, and art is not that much. Can I say valued? Because of course in Cape Town you just have Cape Town City Ballet, I think, and I don't know of many ballet companies in South Africa. So, you know, if you're a young girl and you want to pursue a career in dance, there's not really much or many opportunities for you in South Africa. And now I'm thinking, but in Europe, it's starting to be also like this, where artists don't feel valued, and already they are talking about many theaters being closed down because the smaller theaters, you know, they don't have the funding to stay open and to look after the artists. What is your feeling there in Germany? Do you also think that the arts are not valued? I mean, not like the extent in South Africa, but what I'm saying is that's slowly a thing that can happen, you know, that more and more theaters close, and less artists are able to have a career in art.
Well, I think that would be really sad if that did happen. I think art is very important, not only for us as artists, but also for like the whole society. I think it pushes society to think in different ways, to learn to be creative, to allow children to expand their imaginations. I think it's so important. So I think if that did happen and it was underappreciated and undervalued and things were just closed down, then yeah, that would be very, very sad for for all different kinds of societies. I mean, I was really lucky in South Africa. I actually started my career in Cape Town City Ballet. So, and moving to Germany, I did feel a big change in how you were appreciated as a dancer, how and you were looked after not only by the company, but also by the city, for instance. So yeah, it is a big difference. And I think it would be very sad if many of the theaters closed here.
But with Cape Town City Ballet, I've heard this, I'm not, you can tell me, but dancers don't earn enough to just live from dancing, that they have to have other jobs as well. Is that right?
I'm not sure how it is now. I know the direction has changed, so hopefully that would have changed with that. But when I was in the company, I was still living at home with my parents in order to pursue this wonderful dream of being a dancer. And yeah, it's hard. I mean, the lifestyle in Cape Town, for instance, it's very expensive. It's probably just as expensive as living in Europe, if not more expensive, because it's quite a tourist like attraction. But yeah, I mean, you earn, I don't know, we say you earn peanuts. So yeah.
But how did you start? How did you start in dancing?
Well, my gran used to live down the road from a dancing school, and I must have been about 2 years old, and she asked my mum, "Oh, can I take Sarah Lee to this dancing lady down the road?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay, fine, just okay, after school, that's fun." And I must have been about 2. I think I was hooked ever since then. I mean, we did.
Where in what part of Cape Town?
Oh, it was in Deep River.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, my grand lived in Deep River, and then I ended up moving, and I went to a bigger dance school, even closer to my gran.
Okay.
Also in Deep River, but with Debbie Turner, and that's where I started off, and I was 4 years old.
Okay.
And I stayed with Debbie until I was 18.
Wow.
And we did all kinds of things well, by the time I left, it was called CAPA, Cape Academy of Performing Arts, and I did musical theater, singing, acting, Spanish dancing, tap, a bit of everything I mean, it was really good as a child to be able to do all of that.
But was that aside from normal school? That was, you still had to go to a normal school and then in the afternoons do that, or was that a school?
No, that was, well, when I went to high school, we kind of created our own high school, and it was kind of like based on homeschooling.
Oh, okay.
So we did homeschooling within the premises, and then we would go off and do all the different classes, like dance classes during the day. Yeah, it was great. It was lots of fun.
Yeah. And then you went to did you go from there to Cape Town City Ballet?
No, actually, I have a very strange story as a dancer. Most people go to school and then they get into a company. And actually, at 18, I decided that I just wanted to pursue ballet. I felt a little bit stretched thin with all the different skills that I had learned, and I hadn't quite. For me, I felt like I needed to just focus on one. And I met an amazing man called Martin Schoenberg, and he changed my whole life. I think he made me understand ballet in ways I never thought I could, and everything. So yeah, and then with him, I stayed with Martin for about 5 years. And within those 5 years, I got into the ballet company in Cape Town City Ballet. So it was, yeah.
So you were privately trained by Martin?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, that's great that you could that you had all these people on your way, and that you could. But I'm talking to artists a lot about education, about art education, and in South Africa, I would think more I wonder how many young girls are living in South Africa at the moment. I mean, I just spoke during the week to a parent whose daughter is 14 years old, and she would love to pursue a career in dance. And but it's just not that easy in South Africa, for example. And but I'm thinking that even all over the world, even in America and all over, if we could give children in normal schools the opportunity to be exposed to art at a young age when they enter school, so that they can make the choices, and so that then when they are older and they want to pursue a career in art, that the possibilities are there for them, and that they already have the foundation, or that they have the foundation to choose and to know what they want to do, and that art is seen as an important subject the same as maths and science, for example.
Definitely. I mean, I think my life and my career has only happened like that because dance and art was such a big part of it. And I feel so connected to not only my own industry as an artist, but I mean, there's so many different industries that painters and musicians, and it's all, we all live under the same bubble, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's all connected to each other, but it's also connected to these other subjects, you know, because if I heard a musician told me that he actually started playing the cello because of a science experiment. Somebody did a science experiment with a cello to show the vibration of sound, and that sound made him interested in becoming a cellist. Yeah,
That's such a nice
yeah, so
story.
that's yeah. But it's that thing, that exposure, and then of course the brain development. You know, how the brain develops when you do art, or when you're exposed to art. So that's something that I hope that comes from this situation where artists are in lockdown for so long, and the theaters are closed, that we start talking about this, the value that arts bring to the world and to us, you know, not just mentally, but also physically.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So what did you do in lockdown, apart from Pilates and yoga and dancing and trying to keep your body in shape? Did you have a hobby or something?
Um, Many hobbies. I'm
Okay.
someone who has to be doing something all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And actually, it was my boyfriend at the time, now my fiance.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. It was very difficult for us then, actually, because he was stuck in Athens and I was here, and we couldn't see each other. I think it was for about 7 months. We never got to see each
Wow.
other. So that was quite hard. So we would have each other on Skype the whole day, and just like kind of as if we were together in the same house, and just leave each other there, which was kind of sweet. And at least we had that communication, that we weren't alone most of the time. But I love to sew, so that was definitely one of my hobbies.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well,
Like
you're the first person I talk to who does sewing.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
old-fashioned.
Okay. Wow.
So I
So
did a
what do
bit of
you sew? Do you make your own clothes, or?
well, in lockdown, I was making a bit of well, I taught myself how to embroid, so I was
Yeah.
embroidering letters onto like pencil cases.
Oh, okay. Oh,
And
wonderful.
yeah, sometimes I've made a few leotards, and as ballet
Oh,
dancer, you like to try and create things for work.
wow.
So it's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So it's also I mean, sewing is also a way of the creative expression, it's
Yeah, definitely.
so and Sarah Lee, just what is your wish for when this is all over? How would you like to see things be?
That's a big question. um, I think I would like everyone to see how important culture is actually, and to really learn to value it. I know personally that I wouldn't be I wouldn't be who I am today without it.
Mm.
And I think everyone can learn and can learn from culture and art, and I think it's the thing that pushes our societies to new levels. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And make people think differently, I think also.
Yes.
It's just interesting. I'm thinking also about your when you said that you wouldn't have been who you are, or these experiences, had it not been for art, but also had it not been for the people who came on your way, and they are all also artists who inspired you and who helped you and uh, sort of saw potential in you and created this love for ballet. So in many ways, this is also important, that we also have that, also the teachers of art to be there and to be available and to be funded to um, to do that, to do their jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. My education is like a good education is it's so important, not only with well with ballet or with art, but just in general. I think that's how we teach the children of tomorrow, like our children to grow.
Yeah. Um, Also, something that I want to ask you is I'm also asking musicians this, because I think seeing something of the life of an artist, understanding something about what it entails, so that's, it looks easy when you're on stage, and it's it looks effortless, but we never know really the story behind it. And in ballet, it's in the sense, ballet is perceived as this it's always these pictures of the feet that is are bleeding, and the toes that look as if it's been hit by a hammer or something. And then all this talk about this extremely hard life, and of course it is, but it's also for any form of art, any input, all the hours, it makes that this beautiful expression and this beautiful art. But if people have more of a idea of that ballet also, although it's physically challenging, but there are also other wonderful advantages of doing ballet, that I remember somebody years ago told me that my daughter also is a dancer, and she said, oh, but just never let her go on point, because that will damage her feet for life, and and that is people's perception. But of course, what they don't understand is that the feet are being prepared for point shoes and being trained to go on point shoes. So in that sense, I'm wondering if people could see a more realistic side of ballet and of dance, and that they are, many more advantages, not just the this uh, grueling activity, basically.
Yeah.
Mm.
For myself, I was actually quite dyslexic growing up as a
Mm.
child, and I mean, I believe that if it wasn't for dancing, I would still really struggle with many things. And it really helped me grow, not only physically in such a way to learn how to use my body, but also mentally, I think. And I think dancing is so important for that, especially for children, because you have to listen to the music, you have to interpret the music, you have to understand like gross motor skills, fine motor skills. So I think there's so many advantages to dancing, not just as a profession for personal reasons and for like a society, but also for children and for adults, like the music therapy or the dance therapy. I think it's very valuable today.
Mm. And also, yeah, because it's music is involved and the movement and yeah, and also consideration for others, you know, because you're always dancing in groups together, and then also spatial awareness for people, you know, it's that sort of thing. But Sarah Lee, thank you so much for talking to me, and I wish you much success there, and I'm so happy that you can be in Germany and be able to dance. And coming from this, you know, this path that you went through, and that all the training and all the people that came on your way. And yeah, I really hope, I always hope for people in South Africa that, you know, the theaters will open again and the opportunities will be there, and people like, what did you say her name was? Debbie?
Yes, Debbie Turner.
Debbie Turner. People like that who really, you know, do so much for art in South Africa. And I'm sure there are many that I just don't know of, but you know, that all the children and who want to pursue art, a career in art, that the possibilities would be there for them. But have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you so much. It was lovely to talk.
Lovely to talk to you. And whenever you visit Vienna, please let me know and we can meet in person.
I will definitely.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.